reach out. Sure, I wish I could read them.
Wait, an introduction first.
Ren and Stimpy. Well, it's difficult for me to say anything about this franchise that is fresh or relevant because this is such a hugely popular creation that it's really, for the most part, you pretty much everybody knows everything that there is really to know. It's one of those franchises that are super widely known and popular, and unless you are younger and wasn't really exposed too much or at all to this franchise, in this case, I still don't really have too much to say because I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really grow up with this cartoon too much. I was exposed to it as everybody was back when I was growing up when this cartoon was coming out, and as you can see from my avatar, I've always been a huge fan for scary, spooky, Halloweeny things. Like I used to love Monster in My Pocket or like watching Goosebumps or shit like that. I used to like monsters and ghosts, and I used to be a lot into UFOs or like paranormal things and stuff like that. But I would also be really scared of scary movies, like actually scary movies, or I wasn't really too much of a fan of things that were too raunchy. For example, I wasn't really too much of a fan when I was a kid of Garbage Pail Kids. Probably Beavis and Butthead was the thing that I used to like the most. But um, Ren and Stimpy fell into that category of things that were a little bit too much for me. That kind of raunchy, gross, crude style that 90s media for kids and teenagers, especially boys, used to be. Sometimes it didn't sit too well for me. For example, I had a troubled relationship with Mortal Kombat. It was cool, but at the same time, I used to be kind of scared of that of that game. It used to be a little bit too violent for my taste. I don't know. I was weird, but still. So that's my introduction to this. Basically, where I was trying to go with all this is that I started rediscovering all those things that I didn't pay enough attention as I used to when they were brand new, they were coming out, they were fresh, and only until I got older was when I started to look back and rediscover those franchises and like remembering what I used to like about those things and finding out things that I missed out. I used to love The Simpsons, for example. The Simpsons, I used to fucking love The Simpsons. I still like them, but I used to the Simpsons was one of my favorite things ever, and that falls into raunchy shit, but not too much. I think that was the key, not too much. Sometimes I used to feel a little bit iffy when things went too far. It's funny, I'm still that way sometimes. Still, I only grew up with secondhand exposure, and I was fascinated. It was something cool and interesting for me, but I used to feel like it was a little bit too much, and also I didn't have access to it secondhand like segments that I would see, or I would listen to conversations of friends that I used to have that had cable, or they would go to the States to visit or something and they would watch it there. And the media used to talk a lot about that because it was so controversial. And I'm gonna talk more about how controversial it was and still is to an extent at the end. But so far, this is it. Hey, what's going on? Do you hear the sirens? Enjoy the ASMR, as always. I think this is becoming a classic now. And I'm in a different place, and still, you can still hear the ASMR. I enjoy it. Not really, but whatever. So, anyways, long story short, I like comics. I like collecting comics. I like making comics. And I like going and finding things on the flea market, and one of the things that I found on the flea market not so long ago was these comics, a bunch of comics from Ren and Stimpy. I'm just gonna read one and make a video of it, and if I like how it comes out, I hopefully make a series out of it. So let's go. Okay, so enjoy the ASMR, by the way. I'm pretty sure you can hear that. That's a cat doing cat stuff in her litter box. yeah. Anyways, I have a little vignette here, side of the page with Ren and Stimpy falling from a crib. Stimpy is really excited. And the cover is the log driving the taxi and Ren and Stimpy in the back of the taxi. Not the most exciting cover, I'm gonna say. I don't know. Let's enjoy the ASMR. I'm not sure. I mean, it could be better. The log is looking at them. The back mirror. Sorry, that noise is really distracting. Oh my god. What the? Hold on, I'm gonna go check.
Ya no tengo.
Alright, the cat has finished. We can continue. Yes, look, Ryan. He's nice and he's inspired. You sure you're not concerned that it's just a log? Anyways. Alright, opening the page, we can see a commercial. Twizzlers. Do Twizzlers still exist? Super 90s commercial, by the way. When was this comic made, by the way? So it was made in November. Commercial here, 1994. Wow, this is old. How old was I when this commercial came out? I was like 5. I was like 5, 6 years old or something. The most 90s commercial ever. Like, I used to love this types of commercials growing up in magazines, in like Club Nintendo and the PlayStation and whatever, like whatever comic or magazine. I used to love that. I used to find them really. I just looked like staring at the announcements, commercials, things for a while. It was very interesting. All right, page 1. Crabby Cabbies. Rena, I love it. It's beautiful. It's classic. What is it? This Stimpy is a taxi cab from now on. You and I are the old and cat cab company. Naturally, I will teach you all you need to know. Credits: Scott Benson, script. Gary Fields, art. Brad K. Joyce, letterer. Last, colorist. Mike Lackey, dispatcher. Carl Potts, backseat driver. What? Ren and Stimpy Show, Volume 1, number 36, November 1995. Okay, so the commercials are dated. From 1 year prior. Alright. Published by Marvel Comics, blah 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 blah. It cost $2. This comic cost $2 back in the day. Alright. Oh yeah, it says right there. There's Stimpy and Ren dressed up as stereotypical taxi drivers from New York. The taxi, it looks like crap. It's like a junk car. There's even roaches in there and everything. Alright, moving on. Page 2. Well, I didn't know you knew anything about cab driving, Rena. Those very ridiculous, Stimpy. I've ridden all dozens of them. I don't know if that's the actual accent that I should be using for this, but I'm gonna go with it, whatever. Fuck it. This is the night shift, Stimpy. There's time for this kind of work. The streets are calm, dark, quiet, and just full of terrified people who wouldn't be called dead on foot. But best part is no traffic. In the daytime, you can get stuck in grind like for hours. Where is on night like this? Page 3. Ooh, alright. There's a Godzilla. There's some kaiju in the middle of the street. That's a lot of traffic though. Kaiju. Well, let's see what we can find here. All right. There's a lady throwing the garbage to some artsy dude who's gonna get all the everything. She's gonna have the worst day ever. Some guy yelling. A giraffe driving. Hot dogs. A hot. I get it. Okay, that's kind of funny. A hot dog stand, and there's a dog burning a turtle. I guess implying that a turtle is going to get faster to wherever it's trying to go. Blockage bound lines. Oh yeah, so the guy's driving the blockage bound lines, making a camp. How's my driving? Call 555. Enjoy the ASMR. Enjoy the ASMR. Enjoy the ASMR. Just like if you were here. Thank you, helicopter. Elvis, a cop dog, and a UFO. Honest, it's uses cars. What? I don't get it. The guy driving the block cage van lines. The co-pilot died. So skeleton now. Vulture, Batman, Robin, the balloon with Mickey. All right, that's a lot of shit. Rocco was here. Oh look, Rocco's reference right there, and the graffiti. All right, Mom's carpool mobile. Okay. Moving on, page 3. Moving on to page 4. Near eternity later. Taxi! At last, our first fare of the night. What's on them? How professional hand is this Stimpy? Take me to our 81st and Stimpy, cabby. Not precious, sir. No, not that way. This way. This way, I say. Turn left here. Turn left here. No, not that way. This way. This way, I said. Turn left here. Did I say left? I mean right. What did you turn right for? This street. Take this street. No, this one. Turn on left. I said. What are you, dumb or something? Get out. You know, am I supposed to yell at them before or after we take the left turn? Fine commercial here. Okay, let's go. Let's see this. Series premiere September 24th. Searching for life in outer space. We never imagined the consequences of finding it. Space, Above and Beyond. A new series from the producers of The X-Files. Sundays 7 p.m. 6 Central and Mountain. Only Fox. That's, Space, Above and Beyond. Does anybody remember this? Did anybody watch this? I had no idea this existed. I never did. I never saw this. I used to watch. No, wait. 1995. I was too little. To fucking. So this probably never made it anywhere because I don't remember ever seeing this. I'm more aware of like watching Fox 6 a little bit when I was a little bit older, 8, 9 years old, something like that. That's where I remember the programming. I remember the X-Files, of course. I used to watch, X-Men and whatever, Simpsons, blah, blah, blah. I don't remember this at all. I have no idea. No idea. Pretty sure it's not that good. Nobody knows anything about it. Never seen. Okay, so far the comic is being kind of hit and miss. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure the comic back in those times, if you were a little kid, Ren and Stimpy fan, you would have had more fun with it. It's all right. It's all right. Let's see. It's still promising. Let's keep going. Page number what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the evening goes on. A lot of dogs. And on. Okay, so there's a lady there who got into the taxi with a lot of dogs. How many of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, a lot of dogs. And the evening goes on. And on. Fucking yelling. And on. I'm in park number 14. Oh, what's it, Madison? 16. Oh my god. Am I going Parkway and 33rd? Or, I know, 71st and that's just, no, that's not it. And I just have a few little things to go in the trunk. Look at that, Agni, the packaging right there. Why are you carrying an iron weight there in, like, what? And finally, when can you take these, levels so slow, blankly staring chase lights? You parrot mass lumbago. Right. He's nervous. This is obviously his first time in a taxi. Observe how I put him at ease with friendly banter. Charleston. Johnston hasn't stole my son. So, is this weather hot for you, buddy? the Eskimos are blooming again, huh? Yes, but did you catch the ball game last night? Tweet, 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 the bird there. Formatica dawn. Nice day, is it doesn't it rain, eh? But it makes like wonderful players. I think I've got the hang of this win. Another commercial. Every dirty, shameful, impure, irresponsible, demented thought that you hide from the world. And so here, harassing us, and we find this muscle chick wrestling with this guy. Base needs. Okay, some hellbilly dude. I don't remember that guy's name. Just like he has a huge boner for this hot chicks there, schoolgirls. I see him. Bad examples. Natural process. Oh, taking a crap. Cannibalism. A squirrel eating another squirrel. Unspeakable acts. That guy eating his own butthole. Vulgarity. And a third. Thank you, helicopter. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. There's the Mira helicopter, by the way. I'm really next to the border, like steps away from the border. Not even kidding. There's the Mira helicopter, literally. Anyways, moving on. Vulgarity. A turd in a roller skate. What? Nincompooperi. And we see that from the exalted creators of Ren and Stimpy show. Copyright Nickelodeon. Comes Jimmy the idiot. Oh, it's Jimmy the idiot. The guy who had the boner for the hot chicks. I see him. I mean, I don't blame him though. Comes Jimmy the idiot boy. George Liquor. American. And all new cast of cartoon pals for 61 page issues printed on whatever says there, super blurry paper. Hungry for heroes? Advertisement. What is this, Pugs? Get 3 free X-Men hero caps inside, especially marked backs of Linder's bagelettes. What were those? Bagelettes? You had caps on the bagelettes? I never saw those. I don't remember those. No, I never saw those. It's probably this old as shit. Pretty cool caps though. Pretty sure it worked nothing now, but anyways. Collect all 15. Get all Marvel X-Men hero caps. Plus Wolverine Grass Slammer and enjoy the ASMR. Plastic container with purchase of Lanter's bagelettes and or letters bagelettes for only $2.99. Send this form plus check our money order for $2.99 per set. Includes shipping and handling. Put this original order from please end. Print legitimately. Mail to X-Men Hero Caps. Offer P.O. Box 3331 Maple Plain. And then 55593. God damn, it sucks to be dyslexic. So bagelettes were like smaller bagels or something? I don't know. I have no idea. Page. I lost track. Sorry, I'm not gonna go back and count them all. Let me try. Was the ball game hot enough for you, Zoo? I love my son Sprinkler. She was. Stimpy, do something. Take the wheel. Hug. He's hugging. I was choking him. Give me this real thing here.
I don't know. This is the kind of shit that most likely is gonna be hilarious for you when you're a kid and you're reading. But for somebody who has just been exposed to it without too many nostalgic memories or anything like that, it's just very basic. Well, what are you expecting really? I'm probably asking too much. I'm gonna keep reading.
I've never dreamed the whole stream. I hope I did right. You always make me happy, just like Berkeley. See, this is fun. Gee, look at all the signs on the road. Bridge out. Sure wish I could read them. Okay, that made me laugh. I forgot to ask where we were going. Sir, are we there yet? Sure. Oh my, enjoy that. Oh, you people drive like madman. Oh, have your license with this. The fish sauces are better than ever. You don't have to say anything, man. I'm natural. I can feel it. Yeah, and then they Superman with the undeniable tantrum out of the way. Oh, see? Man, what's yours? Yes, cab, sir. The Ritz Crossing Guard Hotel, please, cabby. With pleasure, sir. At last, Stimpy, some normal people. Correction. There's not a lot of rich people. Darling, how's your stock portfolio coming along? Oh, very well, my love. In fact, I was at the country club the other day and, oh, I do hope you gave me my regards to the prince. Mutual friends. This will make the whole terrible ending worth enduring. Cocktail parties. Thank you, sir and madam. Have a good evening. Thank you. Much obliged. Quick, Stimpy, tell me, how much money did we make tonight? Money? You were supposed to be taking money? Tell me it's not true. See, that wouldn't be an idea, wouldn't it, Ren? Take people wherever they want to go and they pay you. I wonder why no one ever thought of it. See, and you think you can draw some more? The end. So the chapter ends right there. I had fun doing this, actually. It wasn't that bad. I hope I can make something acceptable with this. There's still some pages left, but I'm gonna read them in another episode. Yeah, there's like, I didn't know this had 2 episodes. I thought it was just like the one episode, just like one super long episode, but it's not. It's 2. All right, that's interesting. So was it funny? Sure, it was entertaining. If I would have read this when I was a kid, I would have liked it. It's alright. My favorite part was Ren. Like usual, actually, Ren's kind of my favorite. For the most part, it can be kind of insufferable. Stimpy's more likable. It's just that sometimes he's way too dumb. But yeah, overall I enjoyed this. My favorite gag was he says, I hope I could read the sign. That's got me a little bit of that made me cackle a little bit. I wasn't expecting anything really. I haven't watched Ren and Stimpy in years, for instance, forever. I have some DVDs, I might watch them later. I should maybe watch them and make a video about them. That would be kind of cool. Okay, just as the final part to wrap up this thing, I want to talk about the thing that I was speaking of earlier about the controversy and all that thing regarding to John Giffalusi's work, who is the creator of Ren and Stimpy. I want to address the controversy surrounding John and his work. It was controversial even before the scandals involving John about sexual accusations and all that. I can't remember by memory right now all the details now. So instead of risking inaccuracies, I'm just gonna leave it at that. But even before those things, in the 90s, the show was already controversial for being what you see it is. But I want to address one thing. One question you see people asking all the time whenever you find yourself in a situation like this. Can you separate the act from the artist? Oh, that is an argument, a question that I am 100% sure has no answer, because it's simply impossible. Like, for example, I've been covering Christian here a lot, and I'm planning to cover a lot of things similar to that. Like, for example, I'm talking about the creator of Ren and Stimpy now, and that is a question that has no answer, because everybody has their different ways to have an opinion about the same subject. So unless you can manage to make everybody have some kind of hive mind in which everybody thinks exactly the same, then you're never gonna be able to answer that. But in my case, yes, I can. I usually
try to. Sometimes it's more difficult than others. Sometimes people, like for example John, may do things and are a certain way that may be so reproachable for you in some aspects that you immediately can shrug off their work as bad or something that you don't like. Even if you previously would have enjoyed it, you probably would have even identified with. Call that music, illustration, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to do, anything that somebody else has created and you have consumed. I always forget about my biases, my beliefs, or any kind of sense of moral superiority over anybody else, and I also try to just view that person as a flawed person that can make mistakes and that I can make mistakes too, and that everybody that has ever made anything is also flawed, and just shut down any judgment or even my own personal beliefs and just forget for a moment. Just forget about them and about the things that I can reproach, even if I am right or wrong, and let go of my vanity too. Admit that somebody that I probably do not like is capable of doing something that can mesmerize me or make me enjoy that. When you remove that vanity from you and you just basically admit defeat a little bit, you don't have to change anything. Just sort of admit defeat in a way for a little while and just give credit where credit is due. Then you are able to just enjoy so many things and just kind of have a more chill life, really, actually. You're just able to enjoy so many things about life that it's remarkable. Anyways, that's it. Now, his work. That is the thing that has been making me discover more things about him than anything about his story or whatever. Well, it all has to do with his story. When you see his work, you can understand him. When you see the kind of art that people do, you can start to understand a lot about. You can learn from people. And just like when you study morphology, when you study psychology, when you study whatever, anything that has to do with behavior, anything from the way you dress or act to the things that you make or create, it all stems from the person that you are. And now that I see his work as an adult, I understand so much. I understand the humor of the show. I understand his actions as a person. There's so many things that you hear he would do. So many ways you would hear he would treat people, his co-workers, his subjects, things like that. You see it basically to not go so long about it. Everything about his work is sort of an artistic tantrum. That's one way I could put it together. It stems from hate. I understand that. I can see where he's coming with all that. I was in that spot too. As an illustrator, I was in that spot too. I've been there. Overall, it all stems from hate, resentment, a troubled upbringing, most likely. His focuses and obsessions as an artist speak very strongly of resentment overall. You can start with his human form. His human form is a mockery. You have to take note of the things that the artist obsesses more in order to see what drives him, what makes that artist who he or she is. So, for example, his human form is very cartoony and abstract, but he focuses excruciatingly on little details, especially expressions. Somebody very sensitive, capable of noticing little micro expressions, little details of body language that maybe not everybody may be capable of understanding in the same level. He makes excruciating emphasis on the ugliest aspects of the human form. The human form, people, the world, everybody else. There's an issue he has or had with everybody else, and he needs to alleviate that issue, countering against it somehow, in his case artistically. The human form you draw
is the form that reflects yourself, the way you view yourself, the way you feel about yourself, and it also reflects the view you have on everybody else, on the world, on people. And he diminishes his human form. He makes it look puny. His human form always look floppy, gross, saggy, puny, pathetic, like gross, ugly. There's always this hint of a sense of resentment in the way he always mocks the human form, the way it always looks dirty, sickening, grotesque, like smelly, stinky. He always needs to diminish the human form, belittle it, humiliate it. That has to stem from a lot of past issues in his upbringing, probably very troubled upbringing. There has to be a lot of resentment there in order for you to need to mock something. When you mock something, you belittle it. You strip it of its power. You take away its importance, its influence, its impact to a level low enough that you can manage it. That is the whole psychological use of mockery. His work also talks a lot about somebody who is very sharp, very observant, perceptive person. The situations in his stories are always very satirical, raunchy, crude, and dreadful. He shows a lot of understanding on how to make you react, feel a wide range of things, from amusement to shock and humor. Humor is very complicated. Effective humor has so many layers of emotion, surprise, ingenuity that you need to be sharp and cutthroat. His work is very aggressive and has a lot of emotion. And it's merciless. I mean, merciless people are people who need to prove their point and put you in your place whenever the point is wrong or right. That's another debate, but it's a point that they have. You see his work. It's excruciating. He doesn't give a shit. He just puts his point. Expressions are disrupted, blended in with others that don't correspond with each other. An art that reflects possible, I'm just guessing here, possible emotional abuse that has resulted to emotions exploding and getting mixed with each other, just like basically becoming a hurricane on the mind. The angles are very round. Roundness in art is made from people who are more tactful, with a more tender personality than let's say somebody who draws extremely sharp angles. But that doesn't mean that the person is harmless or incapable of aggression. You have to look for the whole picture. It just means that you have to look for every other characteristic, but that simply means that that person has well, basically that person has a wider range of emotions and capacity of empathy and sensibility than somebody who has very sharp angles. Sharp angles tend to be more inflexible. Inflexible people don't tend to be very emotionally intelligent, for example. Not as much as somebody who doesn't do something like that. Somebody with sharper angles has a more narrow understanding, more simplistic understanding of emotions. Usually more self-centered person with more basic anger, happiness, you name it, instead of somebody, well, you get it. Both aspects can be positive or negative. Don't think of somebody with a lot of emotional intelligence and capacity of empathy is going to be a nice, goody person. That can be used to manipulate others. If you understand others' emotions, you know how to harm and you know how to manipulate better than somebody who doesn't. You're just more subtle. Being sensitive, emotionally intelligent, and capable of empathy doesn't mean that you're going to be necessarily a good person. It's simply, you can still take a wrong path in life depending on your upbringing, but it simply means that you have more tools at your disposal to exploit others. You know the weaknesses and strengths of others more. You literally have more power. That's basically it. And vice versa. Somebody without those traits, somebody with more narrow understanding of emotions and empathy and incapable of empathy, that doesn't mean that they're gonna be a bad person. They're just gonna be very simplistic about it. Well, it's not just like one side of the spectrum is good, like the other side of the spectrum is bad. No, it's all just different kind of traits in the nature of people that can be good or bad depending on the education and the upbringing, blah blah blah. And finally, the colors. Again, huge variety of shades of colors, from darks, very vibrant, bright, energetic, yellows, reds, intense, blues, everything from really dark. He has an expertise in managing colors, making a piece go from gray, grim, and dark and moody to bright and fun and colorful and full of energy and charisma. Again, somebody with a huge emotional range. There's a lot of focus in sexuality, a very disrupted focus on a very disrupted sexuality, but it's there. It makes sense with everything else that we can see in his art. And finally, masculinity, something that stands out a lot when you see all of his work in general, is masculinity. Again, the classic, very disrupted, exaggerated, distorted masculinity. I heard in a couple of interviews that he had a lot of issues with his dad, and that makes a lot of sense. Probably was very aggressive, imposing masculine traits, probably. I don't want to go too deep into this because I don't know that much about his upbringing or anything. It's just the things that I can see here. It's just that masculine features are portrayed in such exaggeration to a point of disgust that go from distortion to some sort of malicious mockery. There's like hate in portraying masculinity in comparison to femininity, for example, in his work. Girls are always very sexualized, and the notion that you get is that girls are always desirable and unreachable. That they all sort of have this attitude of being sort of too good for you. Probably conflict with girls, issues there, probably sexual frustrations. I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate to that. Yeah, kind of a common issue. And then he mocks it and makes them this sort of buffoonish daisies. I don't know. I could talk more in depth about that, but I think this is a good time to just call it a day right here, and yeah, just end it already. I never really stopped to analyze his work at all, and I started doing this, and I just got carried away. I was just going to say a couple of things, and now I just went overboard. Yeah, I think that made it comprehensive enough. All right then, bye.
Hasta la puerta de su casa. Gran preventa de boletos a solo 50 pesos. Escuchó muy bien. Y solo 50 pesos. No 200